Hey everybody, Chris from our Facebook group recently asked about COVID-19 regulations concerning wearing masks in a store and what happens if a customer refuses to wear a mask. Can the police be called? So I want to make a short video to answer this question and talk a little bit more about the regulations concerning wearing masks in Massachusetts. Now, as everyone knows, in Massachusetts, Governor Baker back in March declared a state of emergency concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. As part of that state of emergency, certain orders were put into place. Those orders concerning masks came into place in May of 2020. And the orders concern the wearing of masks in certain places. And basically, the only exemption is if you're either under 2 or you have some medical condition which would make it unsafe for you medically to wear a mask. Other than that, everyone has to wear a mask basically in 4 separate circumstances. The first is if you're either indoors or outdoors in some public place and social distancing is not possible. And social distancing, as most people understand it, is staying at least 6 feet away from another person. So if you're in such a situation in a public building, maybe a public park, maybe just walking down the street where it's really crowded, and you don't have the ability to social distance, you are required to wear a mask under this regulation. The second circumstance is if you're any sort of store, so that includes grocery stores, pharmacies, any sort of retail clothing stores, Home Depot, even going into Dunkin' Donuts. You're always required to wear a mask when you're going into these places. The third circumstance, as everyone understands it, is a restaurant. You are required to wear a mask when you're entering the restaurant and first being seated, but once you're at your table, you can take the mask off. Now, if you have to get up to go to the bathroom or to leave the restaurant, the mask has to go back on before you leave your table. And the fourth circumstance where a mask is required is any sort of public transportation, buses, trains, including taxis, as well as Uber and Lyft and other rideshare services. Masks are required to be worn at all times when you're using one of these particular modes of public transportation. So what happens if you refuse to wear the mask? That was basically Chris's question. It is subject to a civil penalty of up to $300. It's a fine, basically. It's not criminal. It is, in fact, a civil penalty similar to a traffic ticket. The store owner or whoever is trying to enforce it can certainly decline you service, and they can call the police to enforce this regulation. Maybe the police will have you leave, but in the right circumstances, the police are going to give you a ticket for this $300 civil fine. Keep in mind, it's a civil fine, not a criminal issue, so it's more like a traffic ticket and less like an arrest. And just like any other traffic ticket, you do have the ability to appeal it to the district court, to the clerk magistrate's hearing at the district court to decide, and the clerk magistrate can decide whether or not a violation's actually occurred. So you can argue your case to that person to try to avoid that $300 fine. But again, I'll say for the last time, it is in fact a civil fine, not a criminal violation. It will not go on your permanent criminal record or anything like that. But it can, to answer Chris's question, it can be enforced by the police, who can then, like I said, issue this particular fine, this ticket to you. And that's essentially what the requirements concerning wearing a mask in public in Massachusetts per the governor's regulations under the state of emergency. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, or leave me a comment below the video.